Hello, welcome to McBoss Capital channel. I'm Michael Chu, and I have new in the backhand listening. This is a market recap video for week ending October 25, 2024. We'll be making another video also on the top stocks to watch, especially the ones that have been reported. So make sure you follow on that one as well. But for this week, yeah, we have our 7 week up for Nasdaq. It looks pretty good, the chart. It's the strongest index of all the other ones, and the rally continues. And of course, we have lots of big news coming up this week. Um, it could either break out or break down. We don't know, right? Because it's such a big week. So next week we have Google report Tuesday, Microsoft and Meta on Wednesday, and Amazon and Apple on Thursday. So it's a really big week for the tech sector. So what happened on this week? We look at day by day. Monday, Tuesday was finding support at the 10-day. You can see the green line, which is the 10-day moving average. We found support there on both days. Wednesday, we have a pretty bad day. You can see this down day, and we have a distribution day on heavier volume. Um, it's probably mostly on the S&P maybe, but because yeah, this one's slightly lower than the previous day, but it's still above average. And then Thursday we come back to the 10-day, and Friday we gap up, make a new intraday high, and then we close at the bottom of the range. Um, it's not ideal, right? But it's still better than like to see you can see where it closed, pretty much where it opens. But at least it's still a gap up. It didn't come all the way back down here, which is you know it's not the worst is what I'm trying to say. So it's okay. But again, this we make new high right here, but all this doesn't mean much if we miss if all the bigger caps next week miss, right? So here you go. Um, I'm pretty sure we make new high this week, yeah. So 18690, yes, we did make a new high. So overall, at least right now at this moment, Nasdaq look okay, right? If we go to QQEW, which is the equal weight, you can see a little bit weaker. We a little bit weaker because it's been sliding, and then on Friday again it gap up, but then it closed back at the 10-day. So here we go. So this one did make a newer high last week, a week ago, but this week we kind of fell back, and then we bounced back on Friday. So again, it's almost like the opposite. I'll show you the other index after, but this is like this week Nasdaq actually kind of looks more stable and looks more stronger. But all that could change next week when more tech stocks, high beta growth stocks report. So this week is really the what's happening behind the scenes is mostly on the Dow and S&P and Russell because more stocks report earnings in those areas. So let's just jump to S&P. On the weekly chart, you can see we have a down week this week, and we go to the daily chart. You can see it's starting to pull back, and this Friday reversal is not good because we have come back down to the trend line right here, which is on the downtrend. And this is significant because not only we had a reversal, negative reversal, but underlying, like a lot of the stocks that have report really didn't do that well. And so we can also go check on the RSP, which is the equal weight S&P, and you can see this more clearly here. You can see it got rejected at the 10-day. This is much weaker. And when we pretty much near the lows, not quite. I don't know if we make a newer low on Friday, but we close at the low for sure. Once low 177.93, 177.97, so very close. But we're closing at the bottom, so this basically saying we could go down, at least to the red line, which is the 50-day, right here. So we could see another bad day. and then we need to see support, right? We need to see support at those 10 days here. If it does come down, um, because the worst case scenario is this pullback continue to pick up speed and crash through the red line, which is the 50-day moving average, and go below that. And who knows, if we go below that, we could have a bigger correction here. So again, overall, the health on the S&P 500 stocks equal weight is showing weaker signs. And again, lots of them report earnings, and a lot of them got smashed, honestly. Like, if there's some stocks going up, but the ones that have missed, they have really starting to get knocked out. So that's a little bit scary, and because that could continue, right? So let's go to Dow for a second here. Dow. So that was S&P. So kind of more in the middle range. Like, so we have Nasdaq stronger. We have S&P kind of starting to feel a little bit weaker now. And then we have Dow that just really showing lots of weakness. You can see again, same thing. It got rejected at the 10-day moving average and 21-day here, pink line. And now we are very close to the 50-day already. You can see the downtrend line slope is quite severe. And again, a lot of industrial stocks reported this week, and they just got hammered. Um, so you can see right here on the weekly chart, this is a really nice, chart until this week, right? It gave back like how many, we pretty much back almost like 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. And this is the line right here. So we pretty much near the last 4, 5 weeks lows there. So it just happens so fast, and whenever that happens so fast, when you give back, like it's like a stock. When you go up 4 or 5 days or 4 or 5 weeks, and you give it back in 1 week, that's generally a negative sign. Uh, so let's hope this won't continue, but there's a high probability of that. So then we look at Russell, and Russell is probably the weakest of all. You can see, like not only it went down this week, but you can see it basically came back down to the 50-day once again. Because we went down to 50-day here, came up to make a new high on this week. Now we came back to the 50-day again. So we are at a critical juncture again on the 50-day line. But Russell is just very volatile, very volatile. And a lot of financial stocks in this area. So if you're into financials like me this week, I got hit pretty hard on Friday. Um, hopefully, hopefully it's just a 1 day thing. But if it continues, just like the index here, my stop is probably like from a few days ago. That's low. If the stock's following this pattern, I'll probably be shaken out quite a bit if it goes under this level. So anyhow, so yeah, make sure you watch the next video. We're gonna talk more about some of the stocks that I'm owning, and you can see exactly where my buy point and where my stop loss point is set up. So the yield on the 10-year has climbed significantly. So let's just take a quick look at that. Um, you can see right here, uh, it's just constantly climbing, right? So here's the pattern right here. It's going up really strong, and then now it looks like it's trying to bounce again. And you know, a lot of analysts think we will hit the 4.5 mark. So here at the 4.2 mark, this is the initial area where most people think. Now we have surpassed it. So the next area is most likely near 4.5. So this is long-term yield might affect, mortgage rates and all that. So this may not be good, right, for home builders and stuff. Um, so before we jump to home builders, let's look at UUP, the USD dollar strength. You can see this dollar index is also doing the same thing. It's actually very strong. Like I don't remember the last time it was this strong. Like this is strong, strong, a little bit strong. But look at this strength. Like it's just a little bit every day going up, a little bit going up. Like this is super strong. So this is also like could be creating lots of issues, right? For some areas. Yeah. And obviously, we can look at gold as well, because usually they're kind of all a little bit correlated. So you can see like it's still holding up pretty strong right here. Uh, we'll see like if it make a new high again, like it could bounce and make a new high again. And then you have oil. So oil is just stuck in this range, like between 75 and 70. Seems to be stuck around that range right now. But it did find, near support level at 70-ish. Because the home builders are starting to get a little bit concerning. You can see now we couldn't make a new high, and now we have broken the lows right here. And now we are on a pretty clear downtrend right now, 45-degree angle. Um, yeah, this is very concerning. And this again, this 10-year yield seems to be slowly affecting this market now. So um, yeah, so let's see. Here's the Dow Jones Transport. Again, this is also, it was doing well, and then look at it pulled back, and Friday got reversed as well, even it came back up above the 10 day. So we are near the trigger, like very close to the critical line here on the moving average 50-day. So again, yeah, this has a huge implication on the economy. So we want to see, whether all this stuff could hurt the economy, right? Yeah, we don't want to see this break. So a few economic news, like existing home sales in America fell to the lowest level in 14 years. This is according to National Association of Realtors, and it skid the year sales of previously owned homes skid 1% to an annualized rate of 3.84 million in September. This is the lowest level since October 2010. So that's a long time ago. So there's definitely some problem with the home sales right now. Um, on the jobless claims, we have it fell to 227,000 versus 241,000. So this is actually good news. That means the jobs still okay despite the hurricanes. And then we have durable good orders falling 0.8% in September. So this is also not too bad. So we talk about Nasdaq, right? And lots of tech stocks in that area. This is the IBD 50 ETF. 50 growth stocks here. They follow. Look at this chart. It looks a little bit scary right now because normally we fall back here to this long-term moving average 200-day. We have the 50-day trying to come back up very slowly. So overall it looks okay, but the recent action is just really negative because right now we are, in a downtrend, and if it breaks below this level, it will be very scary. Um, so I think like this week, this coming week, knowing this could happen, I would be very cautious because it could break things wide open, right? We could have if things really miss on the growth side. So this last week, a lot of industrial stock reported a lot of, they didn't do that well, in my opinion. When they miss them, they get killed. And a lot of stocks are in downtrend. We'll talk about that in my next video when we look at the list of stocks I have. A lot of them are in downtrend, almost 5-to-1 ratio, which is kind of scary. Um, and so yeah, like this IBD growth stocks list, like why is it showing this action right now? Especially Friday, we have a strong rebound on the index level, but yet on the growth stock side, we're seeing this pullback. Hopefully, the earnings will come out and prove that they can still grow. But again, we expect high volatility. If they miss, they're gonna get killed probably. So the consumer sentiment hit a 6-month high reading of 70.5 in October. So that's really good news. So the confidence, it may be partially helped by growing confidence among Republicans of the Donald Trump victory. So I'm not sure if that's true, but at least and also a drop in interest rate also boosts the mood for consumers. So beside all the big cap tech earnings news, obviously we have lots of stocks reporting. Um, And then we also have PCE, a number price index, on Thursday. So that's the inflation report that Fed follow very closely. So that will be a important day as well. We have job opening figures on Tuesday, ADP employment report on Wednesday, and then we have the U.S. job report. This is very crucial on Friday. It's expected to add 125,000 jobs in October. So this is a pretty low bar. Maybe it's because of the hurricane or something. I don't know, but that's not very high at all. So hopefully they'll still beat this, and then people, again, most people hasn't talked about recession, at least the chance of recession right now, because the employment numbers continue to be good. But if we do miss, we could be, who knows, right? Things could change very fast. So we need to be cautious around that. And then not this week, but the week after we have election. So very close. We have seven sessions left before the election results. Um, so who knows? Lots of things could change, especially certain areas could be reflected. So the market trend, the IBD market trend shows is still at pretty good uptrend right now, 80 to 100% allocation still. We had that one day of distribution day on the S&P 500 on Wednesday. So again, Nasdaq did overall did better this week. But you can see the number of stocks accumulated versus distributed is much lower. Um, and also on the industry group side, you can see a lot of industry groups also suffer. On the sector side, there's pretty much no positive in terms of net. So we take the net accumulation minus distribution on each sector, and then you can see how many stocks are net negative. Like, everything is negative this week. There's more selling than buying. So not a good week overall compared to, last week, for example, you see lots of green. Last week was only energy commodities area that suffered, but now every group has suffered this week. So lots of negative area, like just lots of selling. So so we're starting to feel the jitters before election, and this can continue. And I'm slightly worried we could have a mini crash here happening, or I call it mini crash, but really it's just like maybe a big down day, like 3-4% down day. If especially if the mega cap can prove their growth going forward, things like that could happen. So we gotta be very cautious right now. We're heading into the grunt of this earnings the next 2 weeks. Just so many things happening. But with this happening, like with this numbers showing, like, I'm really worried now. So if we go to the IBD newspaper, we can look at the advanced decline line. You can see NYSE here, and you can see right now it's almost at new low in the last many weeks. Like, I don't know, 5-6 weeks here. So this is not a good sign as well. Like, we could hit new lows, meaning there's more stocks falling and then going up now. And so it's starting to show that the trend is starting to happen. And so this line is not looking good on the NYC. On the Nasdaq, very similar. We are just hovering over this low point right here. Again, we're not doing really well as well. Like, this one has been the weakest compared to S&P. So again, both of them showing very negative trend right now. There's way more selling, like stocks down versus stocks up. So we're gonna look at SMH first. A semiconductor group. We see very tight action, 4 days, and then Friday we saw this bounce. It did reverse, but it's still overall it's still a gap up. It still looks okay, as well as the volume came in. So that looks pretty good actually. The volume is just drying up right here. You can see that. So that again, this selling right here because it's kind of going down, it's drying up, which is good news. And then Friday we had that bounce. So this right now looks very healthy. So let's look at Nvidia. This one is still hovering near the highs right here. We break out right here. Hasn't moved much since, but it's just holding up at this level, which is a good sign. Really good sign. So I'm liking this chart quite a bit. Again, this hasn't reported. Um, This will be the last big mega cap to report on November 20th. So there's still a few weeks. But this week we're gonna have lots other ones reporting. Microsoft. This chart looks pretty good as well. You can see on this downtrend right here, the volume starting to subside, especially on this day. You can see that. And then as it came back up on the right side here, there's not too much selling. There's more blue days. And then we have this one big up day right here. That was the rebound on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, Thursday, we're able to hold on to the short-term moving average just above it. So that's a good sign. And then Friday it gaps up, make a new recent high. So looks really healthy right now. So obviously they're reporting, if they do well, we could have one of this like one day up kind of thing, breaks out right here. So pay attention to this area. So that's Amazon. Again, Microsoft. This is a very, again, I didn't like this chart before because it was always stuck in the lower half of the base. But it's just gonna come down to the earnings, right? What they say, so the fundamentals and stuff. So that will be important. Amazon, I don't know what to make of this stock because they haven't really performed as well. Especially after their prime days, which I kind of find surprising because they did pretty well right on the prime days. So anyhow, but it is stuck on a very narrow range, very narrow, like so narrow. Like this is, and also volume is just so low. Look at this day right here on Thursday. Like there's no volume on that day. Um, so if it breaks out, and this I like this chart more than Microsoft just because it's been trading more in the upper half. So it's easy for it to break out, right? Easy for it to break out and clear the highs right here, and yeah, it could take off really really good if it report good earnings. So that's Amazon. Google, also reporting. Um, this chart also stay at the bottom half of the base, which I don't like, but it is trading really tight. So the problem with this is that they can go either way, right? Like it can break out or it can just shoot back down. So we have to be cautious. This one has more volume than the other two, so it seems like the selling is still coming in. You can see that. Okay, and then we have Meta. So yeah, I like Meta quite a bit just because it has performed technically the best, and also this pullback is very orderly. That's what I would say, orderly. We have this one day down this week. That's pretty severe actually. Not sure if there's any news, but it definitely broke to new recent low. But it did bounce back, so now we're just stuck in this downtrend line here until probably the earnings come out. Um, so then we have yeah, we can jump to let me just show one thing first. IGV is the software group. Um, this chart looks pretty healthy compared to the semiconductor group. It pulled back as well, but at least this one already make new high right here. And even Friday, you can see it's trying to go for that high again, but it did reverse. So this one looks okay. And here's the a support level right there at the 21-day line. So there's lots of big cap software. We'll probably talk more about this one in the next video instead. But let me finish with the mega caps. So we have Apple, and Apple is also reporting this week, and you can see it's just hovering near the top zone of the space, which is not a bad thing. And staying close to the short-term moving average right here. And so again, we can have this kind of breakout, or we can fall below, right? The 50-day here. So can go either way. And I'll talk about Netflix first before Tesla. So Netflix already reported. this was the nice day. Took a position on that day. It's been acting really well. I'm, I mean, it's been holding up. Look, it doesn't want to touch the green line even. Like that's the short-term moving average. So this is really healthy. I'm thinking of finding another way to add more position if I can. We'll see. Finally, we have Tesla chart. The gross margins rebound, so that was really good. Also, Musk said there will be higher deliveries, a 20 to 30% jump in 2025. I think there was a hint of the lower model price model coming out as well in the new Cybertruck, same plan as the Cybertruck plan. So that really helped it move up quite a bit. So well, let me go to the chart. Um, Here we have this nice breakout. I mean, this is like straight from the bottom up, right? 20% jump on that day, I think. High volume. Look at that. You can see this volume has been like drying up right here, right there. You can see. I don't think this has happened in the last year like this severe. It's been drying out and then all of a sudden it just boom. Of course, we have this one last test here, one day before the earnings, and some people sell. You see the volume jump back up. But the new overall the earnings and the gross margin, all the stuff and the forecast looks good, and market and it also falls through on Friday. Um, yeah, really good numbers. If I go to the fundamentals here, you can see it was negative. Now it turned positive. Next quarter is going to be 4% growth on the earnings, and then it's starting to accelerate like after that. So so that's good news, right there. The sales is kind of stable, growing a little bit, 10 to 20%. So overall, this has been in a long gyration. You can see it just really hasn't done too much for a long time. And now we're starting to finally build this nice cup, but then we fail on breaking out. We have this strong pullback or even a correction you could consider. And then we have this one big up week. And now we are now at a new high. So chart wise looks really healthy right now. Relative strength even make a new high right here. Again, if you like these numbers, these fundamental numbers here, then yeah, this is a good to go stock. I generally, don't buy stock under 10% earning growth. Um, who knows, right? They could beat this quarter, miss next quarter, who knows, right? But it's just I like to see more consistency. Maybe they can start delivering, and maybe I'll get in later. But right now, but from a technical perspective, it looks really good. Looks really good. So thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will make another video on the top growth stocks, especially focusing on the ones that have been reported, just to see if there's any new leadership brewing up. And so yeah, thank you.